Hey everyone, and welcome to another episode of Unboxed. Today we're going to continue talking about how we build the Black family. So stay tuned as we unbox the power and the potential of the Black family. I'm Dr. Robert Davis, family life educator and relationship coach. And welcome to Unboxed, a frank and straightforward conversation about relationships. We're going to talk about family, church, workplace, and all other types of relationships. Join me for the next few moments as we unbox the power and potential of relationships and help you to live your best life. Hey everyone, I'm Dr. Robert Davis, and I want to welcome you to Unboxed, where we seek to unbox the power and the potential of all relationships, family relationships, workplace relationships, church family relationships, community relationships, whatever it may be. We want you to live to your full potential. And we've been talking about specifically the African-American family because of the unique dynamics of the African-American family. But before we get started, do me a favor, like, subscribe, and share. Yes. Like, subscribe, and share, and also hit on the notification in YouTube so you can get updated on when we're on live. Also, please go through the description in this video so you can find out ways to support Unboxed or to partner with us, as well as check out our website, which is on the screen. Now, we're talking about the Black family because recently we have been exploring a book that I wrote called Seasoned with Grace, God's Okay, so we're looking down at different aspects of the African-American family. One of the things that I've been sharing with you is how important it is to gather as much information about your family tree as possible. The more that we know about our family, the more confident we can be in how resilient our family is. You know, understanding African-American, your personal family, especially as a Black family, is helpful in helping you to realize just how far you've overcome. As I shared with you, and then we're going to get into some very specific things today. As I shared with you before, my grandfather's grandfather was a slave. What's the significance of that? The significance of that is this. That means that I touched someone who was a slave. And if you are watching this and you know some family members that were slaves, you understand just how powerful, how dynamic, how resilient your family is. And so we're going to go ahead and jump into this. The first thing I said was to draw out a family tree. Just get the names, the dates, for example, the birth dates, the date of death, the education level, the city of residence, try to get those type of information about 3 generations of your family. What are the 3 generations? Your generation number 1. So you and your siblings are generation number 1. Your parents going up 1 is generation number 2. And then your grandparents make up generation number 3. So everyone on each of that line, you want to know as much about it as possible, about the next line as possible, and the next line as possible. And I know, kind of see if you notice that I'm wearing my Negro League hat today. Okay, so now I've been listening to you, Dr. Davis. I've been following it. And now I really feel cool because some of the young kids in the city call me Dr. D. So I've been listening to you, Dr. D. I might change my name. I've been listening to you, Dr. D, and you've been telling me about getting all this information. I've been doing that, trying to get as much facts as I can. Okay, what do I do with all of this? Well, the purpose for this information is twofold. Number one, to help you to see the resilience of your family. And that's going to just pop out as soon as you do your family tree. The second thing that you want to be able to do is to identify how your family functions. Remember, I've shared with you before that each of us are born pre-programmed. We're like a computer. You take it out of the box and it already has an operating system on it. That's how each of us are born. We're born pre-programmed. I'm going to read to you one more time something that I wrote. It just simply says, something that I wrote last year. It says, we are intricately connected to the history of our families. Their emotional reactions, relationship patterns, genetic predispositions, hereditary diseases, and their overall functioning. The better we understand our family, the histories, the stories, the easier it becomes to create a clear roadmap for where we'd like to see our families go. So, okay, what do? I got all this information about my family. What do I do now? Okay, I want you to gather some information about your family, and then I want you to just start answering these questions. And trust me, without any guidance. And by the way, with our executive coaching and our leadership training and other services that we provide with Unboxed, we do actually give you coaching step by step to do this type of family diagramming and to gather these type of answers and stuff. But you can do a lot of this even without our assistance. That goes to show you we're here to really try to provide a service for the community. So here's some questions that are beneficial for you to answer as you are seeking to better understand your family, to understand how you're pre-programmed, and then to develop a roadmap for where you want your family to go. So I'm just going to throw some questions at you. I have a whole bunch of them, but I only highlighted 10 of them. And I want you to think about this. As I share these questions with you, I want you to think about it. You may need to come back and watch this video and pick it right up here at this section. First question, how did your family adapt to the birth of each child? That's a question. Once you get all those family members lined up, and I say go back 3 generations, but if you can go back 4 or 5, go back as far as you possibly can. And then answer that question. How did your family adapt to the birth of each child? What are the reasons, or what were the reasons and circumstance around each child leaving the home? And you'll notice that changes. Some children left the home to go off to college. Some left the home to go to the military. Some left the home when they were young because they ran away. You may start to identify different reasons why individuals left the family. And these things the more you know, the more you know. I mean, the better off you'll be. Here's the other type of stuff that you want to look for and questions you want to answer. What counterproductive behaviors arise when members leave the family of origin? So when members leave their parents' home throughout the generations, were there any counterproductive behaviors that arose? Addictions, abusive relationships, things of that nature, criminal activity. What counterproductive behaviors arose when people left their family of origin? Another thing I want you to do is identify members who suffer from emotional or mental illness. And this is going to take some asking questions to different family members and reestablishing relationships, because you may not know all of this information. So you're going to have to kind of like put on your Columbo hat, become an investigator, get your Matlock going on. That goes to show you how old I am, because I don't know any of the new detectives. So I got to give you all the old stuff. Get your Sherlock Holmes going on. That's really old. And figure out, hey, I noticed that, this family had bipolar or schizophrenia or some other mental disorder. When did they develop that? How old were they? What was going on during that time? Try to gather as much of the information as possible. What events, here's another good one. What events had the greatest impact on shaping your family? What events had the greatest impact on shaping your family? And I'll just say, for instance, on my on my father's side of the family, perhaps the greatest event that impacted that would have been the death of my paternal great-grandmother, and the remarrying of my she was my step-great-grandmother, but I never knew she was my step-great-grandmother until I got older, because she always, in the Black community, we don't have a bunch of steps and halves. We just either your family or you ain't. But anyway, that brought in a whole new line of family members when my great-grandfather's wife died and he remarried. So I have a whole set of cousins and aunts and stuff that arose from that, and it really helped to shape who our family was. Let me go on with some stuff. I don't want to hold you too long today. I want you to identify major stressors over the past generations. So looking at the various generations, what were the major stressors? You can think something that would jump out immediately. Let's say, for instance, you have family from Tulsa, Oklahoma. You can imagine that one of the major stresses would have been when they came just through and destroyed Black Wall Street. Even if your family didn't live in that particular area, you can imagine how it would have impacted all African Americans in that particular community. So what were some of the major stresses? Or if your family lived in Birmingham during the time of the bus boycott, these would have been major stressors, major events that would have had a profound impact on your family. You want to kind of identify these things. Remember, I told you, you're going to realize how resilient your family is, just how strong you are as a people. Another good one is, how did the immediate and extended family organize resources to address those stressors? So now you see kind of what those stressors were and what those events were that really put a lot of tension and stress on the family. Next question you want to know is, how did the family organize itself? How did it organize its resources in order to address, manage, and work through those stressors? Another one is, what are the strongest family relationships? Alliances. What are the strongest family relationship alliances? Like, who in the family are the tightest? Like, who gets along the most? Who kind of, thick as can be? What are the most stressful or hostile family relationships? And try to get as much information as you can about that. Like, man, why is it that those two just can't seem to see eye to eye? What's going on here? When did that start? These type of questions. Who are the strongest? Who has the most difficult relationships? And this is the last one I'm going to share with you. I have a whole bunch of them here, but I'm going to share this last one with you. Who has been the strongest personality or the backbone of each generation? Today, television tries to make it seem as if the backbone of the African-American family through every generation has been the African-American woman. And trust me, she really has been. And I'm not trying to put that down at all or underplay it, but you'll be surprised at the various individuals that have played such a large role. In my family, it was not the matriarch. It was actually my grandfather. He was really the backbone of our family for years. Very strong personality, very strong leadership that really made our family what it was. And I'm talking about my paternal grandfather, as well as my maternal grandfather. Both of them very strong men, very strong leadership to the family. So I don't resonate as much with the Medea character because there were strong men that kind of dictated and governed the way that the family flowed and kind of was the glue that held the family together. And so, I want you to answer those questions and who were in each generation, the ones who were the backbone of the family. As you begin to go through and answer these questions, and there are other ones, like I said before, there are other resources that we provide. As you go through and answer those questions, you're going to begin to see a picture emerge, and you're going to have this epiphany, this aha moment where you're going to say, you know what? Wow, it makes sense. Now I kind of understand why my family operates this way. And I can understand a little bit better why I do what I do. What you're looking for is, I want to understand the me that makes me me. We're not here to point fingers or to try to cast blame. We're simply trying to understand the me that makes me me so that I can be the best me possible. Let me say that one more time. I want to understand the me that makes me me so that I can be the best me possible. I'm not trying to find out, daddy wasn't this, mama wasn't the other. I'm trying to figure out, how can I be the best me possible? And the more I understand, the easier it becomes to unbox the power and the potential of all relationships. Again, I want to thank each of you for joining us. We're going to continue with our study of the Black family. Tomorrow, we're going to go into the area of African-American family communication. African-American family communication. And we're going to talk about how we can improve that as well. Of course, I wrote a whole book on it, but we're going to talk about how we can improve that as well. And we're going to continue with this theme of understanding the Black family. Until we meet again, make sure that you like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you next time on Unboxed. Have a good evening.
Seasoned with Grace, Unboxed also provides healthy relationship training and leadership development for businesses, churches, and community organizations. For a free consultation to discuss your team's needs, please contact us at our website at swg-unboxed.org. That's swg-unboxed.org.